Hello, my name's Ben.
And my name's Josh.
And welcome back to FPL Graduates and welcome back to another video. The international break is finally over. What feels like a stupidly long time with little to no price rises and falls in between. And we're ready to tell you about our transfer targets for this week.
Okay, so as usual, we're going to be going through 5 players that you need to be looking at to get into your team. Maybe not this week, but in the coming game weeks, that is for sure. And Diogo Dalot is first on our list. Arguably one of the best £4.5 million defenders for value for money. Man City this week, obviously it depends what you think United can do against that City team. For me personally, I don't see him keeping a clean sheet, and it's highly unlikely him getting any attacking returns. But Everton, Newcastle, Tottenham, Chelsea, not the best fixture run, but he's been very good going forward. I think he's top 3 in terms of expected goal involvement in the Premier League in terms of defenders. That's better than Trent, better than Reece James, better than Cancelo. What's your thoughts on him, Ben?
I mean, over the next sort of 5 game weeks, it's going to be a true test of whether we actually do think Dalot is the real deal and whether the United defenders are worth investing in, because they're not going to have as tough a run like this going forward. The next 5 games pretty tough, it's fair to say. So if we get through this period and Dalot still looks like a good pick, then he could be unbelievable. And he could be 4.7, 4.8 by the time we get out of that run if he produces the points. So it's worth bearing in mind, maybe worth waiting on, seeing how they do against some top-class strikers in Game Week 9 before looking at those Everton away and Newcastle at home as potential points getters for Diogo Dalot.
Yeah, one thing to remember as well, aside from Manchester United's defence, is that Dalot's been pretty good going forward this season. He picked up an assist against Southampton, which was his only goal involvement for United this season. He also scored twice for Portugal on international break, as he does, outscoring Ronaldo. So, yeah, decent option and one to keep an eye on for sure.
The next player in our team is MarkGayle of Crystal Palace. Now, he is at just 4.3 million, which is very cheap. And look at that fixture run. After Game Week 9 against Chelsea, you've got a great run of fixtures for Crystal Palace. And it's worth, if you're bringing one of these guys from Palace in, they're cheap enough that you can bench them for 1 week against Chelsea at home before bringing them into your team from Game Week 10 onwards. And the Crystal Palace defenders seem to be picking up bonus points when they're getting the clean sheets and when they're defending pretty sound. They're a solid defensive unit. In terms of expected goals conceded last year, they ranked pretty highly as well. So we could see Gay do some good things for FPL managers.
Yeah, really, really good asset. I was surprised to see him drop in price during this international break. It was quite crazy to see that. You know, Crystal Palace have some unbelievable fixtures now up until the World Cup. They had some of the I think they had the hardest, actually, fixtures up until this point. So that 1 clean sheet in 6 games is a little bit down to them playing probably the hardest teams in the division so far. So, yeah, I definitely expect some clean sheet points from Crystal Palace. Whether you choose Gahey, whether you choose Guaita in goal, if you're on a wild card, that's definitely up to you. But yeah, very, very good option. So next up into midfield now we go is James Madison. And just look at that sea of green that Leicester have for their next 5 game weeks. It is unbelievable fixtures. Arguably some of the best in the Premier League. Forest at home this week. We're looking at some serious points there this week, hopefully. I've seen a few people on FPL Twitter looking to captain James Madison. They're not feeling the Erling Haaland vibes against Manchester United. 7.1% owned. I'm so shocked at that. I was surprised to see him being lower owned than Diogo Dalot. That is very surprising. What's your thoughts on Madders, Ben?
Yeah, I really like him. His statistics over 2022 in total have been fantastic. And despite Leicester not looking good, Madison has been the star in that team. And, you know, that price point for that player, he could be one of the bargains. And I said it time and time again, these £8 million midfielders, 1 or 2 of them are going to come out in a sort of 5-6 week game week period. And you're going to need 1 or 2 of them at least. And you're better off sort of hopping between these guys. So, yeah, Madison is the guy to own right now. Okay, so next up we have got Wilfred Zaha, and again, I think it's worth potentially doubling up on the Crystal Palace guys for this run of games, and this is a guy that you probably don't even need to bench in Game Week 9. It's Wilfred Zaha. Chelsea at home isn't actually a bad fixture going forwards for Crystal Palace. Defensively, we may not see a clean sheet from them, but Wilfred Zaha could be a fantastic option. He's owned by 15% of players, and you know, he's produced 4 goals. He's a talisman in that Crystal Palace team. And we could see some really nice returns over the next 5 game weeks.
Yeah, definitely. And I think with Zaha as well as the penalty taker and getting penalty takers at clubs like Crystal Palace, really, really good to go for. You know, Solanke at Bournemouth, Johnson at Nottingham Forest. These sort of guys will pick up points throughout the season just because they're on penalties. And Zaha's proven that already this season, scoring a penalty. And also, I think missing from one, but getting the rebound as well. So, yeah, he's very good to own. Like you said, those fixtures, especially Leeds and Leicester, those two are definitely ones to keep your eyes on. So moving on to the fifth and final player this week is a much talked about asset in the FPL Twitter community. It is Dominic Solanke, coming in at 5.7 million, absolute bargain price, and he's got some very, very good fixtures in his next 4. Only the 1 goal, 1 assist so far this season. That was against Nottingham Forest as well in 1 fixture. Do you believe in the Solanke hype, Ben?
Is that me or you? Oh,
you.
Oh, jeez.
That's fine. It came up.
It was like in between there.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm kind of undecided on Dom Solanke. Like, Bournemouth have had one of the worst sort of XGs in the league. Their attack isn't really attacking too well, and Solanke's got about 4 goals in 47 fixtures. So I'm really undecided. I do believe that over the next sort of few game weeks with their fixtures, yes, he is an option and he's an enabler, but I wouldn't go out of your way to sort of try and force Solanke into your teams. As you can see, 1 goal, 1 assist in 5 is not bad, but his record, sort of historically speaking, isn't the best. So I would probably, if you need to get him in, then he's probably one of the best options at that price point, but I wouldn't try and force him into your team.
Yeah, and one thing to mention as well is that you could hop on and off these like under £6 million strikers. I know Patson Daka has become an option in recent weeks. Might have picked up an injury this week though. You got also like the likes of Brennan Johnson, a Wanye from Forest as well. So you know, there's a few players down there. They're not necessarily the ones that you're going to be like, oh, I really want him in my FPL team this week, but they might tick along with some points, and that's the important thing.
So that rounds up our transfer targets for this week. Let us know what you think about those transfer targets. Are they some good options to go for this game week?
Know who you're looking to bring in this game week in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
And as per usual, I've been Ben.
I've been Josh.
And we'll see you guys
later. Have a good game week, everyone.